look up one day and be like, but I just want to touch on what we're saying. Yeah. So lead generating. Yeah, I would be everywhere, bro. Everywhere, regardless. What's your hesitation with the?
No. I mean, I'm just saying. Obviously, when you want to step foot in any of these places, obviously people like Zillow, Redfin, and any of these, obviously bigger,
more like, is it worth it type
platforms. Exactly.
Yeah. And you know what? You hear, I used to think the same thing. You read the reviews, you hear other agents. Oh, the leads,
thousands of dollars, and not enough.
Well, here's the thing with lead generating platforms. You get a lot of agents say, oh no, they just get bad leads, they get bad leads, this and that, right? I get it. Now if you're not spending dollars up front to acquire that lead and you're just signed up and they're handing you leads, there is nothing wrong with it. And where agents, I think, get it wrong is a lot of times, they're leads that aren't going to work, but that's with anything. The idea of this business is generating. It's people. It's connecting with people, as many people as you can, right? Yeah. And having as many conversations to anyone about real estate. So these people are people that may have expressed their interest, right? Obviously, they're coming to these platforms. Granted, sometimes they don't work, right? Probably 8 out of 10 times, they may not even be close to buying, right? Whether they don't have the funds or their credit's not right, or but at the end of the day, right. Our job is to make relationships building. That's all we're trying to do. We're not looking to do a deal with people today. We're looking to build a relationship, and over time. So check this out. You get a lead, one agent might say, oh man, I got this one person through this one platform. The lead was crap. They only got $5 in their account. They work plunging, unplugging toilets and whatever, right? Just whatever, right? However, one person A may just disregard that person forever and never talk to them again. Person B is going to continue to follow up with them over time, see where they are, see if there are any needs. Over time, do you know that one lead, even if they don't eventually buy a year, 2 years later, if that relationship is built right and they really really like you, which they eventually will, as long as you're staying in touch and you're being cool and you're understanding, you're meeting people where they are. Who knows over time how much business that person can refer you, bro? Like that person could be your number one, like your cheerleader. They were like, yeah, it just doesn't look good. I might not be able to buy for 5 years. Oh, by the way, my uncle was looking to sell his house. Yeah. Oh, my cousin is going to be buying next year. Oh, so again, and honestly, that's not even the main reason to build a relationship. It's just being a good person and just treating people, being a generally good person, being a resource. You just want to position yourself as a resource of any real estate information, period. So when anybody thinks real estate, they think of Isaac, they think of Rich, they think of Mark. That's it. It's positioning. So that's the answer to your question. But sorry, guys, I know we just tuned in right now. Welcome. We jumped right in. Peace speakers. We are back at it again. We got a great show. Back. How you doing, Mark? You good?
Doing fantastic.
Dude, I'm excited. We got a very, very special guest on this show. Young hustler. Realtor, been in the business, 3rd year in the business, going strong. He kind of reminds me of myself when I was in my early 40s.
Hey, not that
or late 30s.
Man.
Let me say late now. The reason, because I did get into the business a little later, late 30s. So when I was, late 30s, I was a super hustler. I'm still a hustler, but yeah, young, ready to rock and roll. We're gonna definitely get him. He's with London Properties, 3rd year in. Welcome Isaac Hernandez to the show.
Yeah,
what's up? Welcome.
Introduction, man. Thank you guys for extending the invite out here. Glad to be here with you guys.
For sure.
As they said, Isaac Hernandez with London Properties.
This mic real quick. Yeah, sorry about that. We just gotta make sure we hear you.
Looking forward to it. Thank you guys for having me here today, man.
Of course, man. We're gonna get into a lot today, man. We got a lot of questions. This guy has a lot to offer, a lot of value. First and foremost, like we do every show, Mark. Man, let's talk about this market. It's a lot of updates, guys, going on in the real estate.
We ought to start skipping this portion with it. Bad news after bad news after bad news.
But bad news is news, and it's all about
it needs to be heard
and information, right? And people can take this news and do as they do.
Yeah,
It's just for them to know.
We can have an upside without the downside.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
So here's the setup for that comeback here. Markets have not been favorable for buyers, since the last time we spoke. Today is, what is it, March 8th?
March 8th. Yep.
So last podcast, we were looking at a downward trend, meaning that interest rates were going up. Downward trend is, not what you want to hear. I know it's kind of confusing, but you hear downward trend or the market's not heading in a favorable position. It actually means that the interest rates are going up. They are continuing that route. We're over 7. We're over 7% for borrowers.
That's across the board. Any financing? Any?
I mean, can you get under 7?
I'm sure with buying points down, and all,
buying points down, right?
Too
seller credits, things like that. You can definitely get under 7, but yeah, you're gonna be working for it. You're gonna be working for it. The position's got to be right. Surprisingly, the mortgage debt information came out. The amount of interested buyers is actually up from last week over week. Yeah. It's up about, just under 7% for purchases. It's up just under 10% for refinances. I don't know where those are coming from. My imagine would be that there are FHA buyers who are now refinancing to the lower mortgage insurance that's required on FHA loans.
Couldn't that data be a little skewed too? Because like you can go from like someone said you can go from like 10 to 11 people, then that's like a couple percent. Like the numbers are so small to where any 5-6 more people can add extra percentage, where it's still not a bunch of.
To put things into a larger perspective, year over year. So this time last year, we are way down. I mean, we're talking over 50, 60, 70% on mortgage applications and on refinance applications. So year over year, we're still way below where we were at this point last year. So we're seeing, the interest rates continue to move up, maybe not as fast as they did at one point, but they are continuing to move up. Something that kind of caught me off guard, some of the data that came out, there's still 90% of outstanding mortgages that are sitting at 5% or under. So 90% of most people that have mortgages are 5% or under. Okay, so all of these new interest rates, all of the buying now, it's a very, very small majority. 70% are under 4%. So majority of the mortgages are still in interest rates that are.
Which just tells you people don't want to sell. I mean, who wants to get rid of that?
Wants to get rid of that.
And those people with those mortgages, those are typically first-time buyer houses to where first-time buyers would buy, and those aren't available now because people are being locked in by interest rate. Therefore, that's why it's kind of like it's almost 2 markets in every market, at least 2, because it's like you got the below median and above median. At least here in Fresno, what we're seeing is below median. It's like inventory is like a month, if that. It's very low and it's very competitive. Still at that under price range. Right, but as you go higher upper, the higher end, that's where we see a lot of the pain happening. We're seeing days on market longer. We're seeing price reductions going crazy. So it's a little skewed, the data. So people should be aware of that too.
Absolutely, and absolutely, and also understand that the people that are in these underneath 5%, underneath 4%, the winners, so to speak, the winners that locked in those rates, majority of the people that locked in those low interest rates were homeowners. So they acquired that through refinances, meaning that at some point they had a higher interest rate than that. If they bought in an environment like this, own the home for 5-6 years, rates come down, now you're going to join that elite group of people that are underneath 5 and 4% if you're buying now. So the real winners of 2020, 2021, they were already homeowners. It's not that they were jumping into the market, they were already homeowners. So they bought at higher rates, refinanced to the lower ones. So that's where the numbers are coming from. First things first, these people had homes already. So people that are not buying now and waiting for the rates to drop in order to jump in are not going to be in the same boat as these people, because the competition was done. The home was already bought. They were just waiting for the rates, and then they swooped on the 4s and the 5s. So those were the real winners. And if you can afford it, tough it out, these interest rates, I mean, you're going to see your opportunity come in the future to lower that.
It's but again, guys, I mean, everyone has different situations, right? So if you are in the market of looking, there's family situations, there's a new location, there's always reasons a person would like to buy or sell. And so I would just say consult your lender and your realtor, and just get all the facts, get all the details, see how the full picture looks. And then that way, once you have all the information in front of you, you know exactly what's what, you can make the best decision for yourself, whether you decide it's a good time or not. Sometimes with all that information, you might decide like, you know what, I don't think it's a time for us right now. Or you may look at like, well, hey, actually, this might be the best time to take opportunity in the market as a seller, especially if you're below the median, because there's virtually not much competition to where, I mean, the last 5 listings this year, bro, been bidding wars. Like I had the last one we put in escrow a couple of weeks ago, it felt like it was like 21 and 20, like literally, like we had multiple offers.
Okay.
The one we accepted, the seller accepted, was over list price by about 7,000-8,000. They put a 5,000 appraisal gap.
Wow.
We haven't seen that in right
I just
year
got
and a
into
half.
one of those here in the last week and a half.
Yeah,
So the one I
that's
got here looking
crazy.
forward to close here in the next week or two. We had to go at 15,000 above. So they asking price. I mean, obviously strategically,
Sure.
they priced it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they priced it a little under market value, 405. We came in at 420. Obviously, the buyers were on board, wanted to get the house at whatever cost. So we came in with 420 to compete with the other. We even threw in the $5,000 appraisal gap clause, and appraisal came in $5,000 below. But you know what? I think, you know, with the them doing their due diligence and everything, I think we're going to be able to settle back on the 415.
Yeah.
And everything works out just as planned. So
yeah. So again, that's perfect example. So again, we just want to give clear pictures to people out there, first time buyers, or people not really knowing what's happening in the market, that may think like, oh shoot, I can just go out there and get any deal 30,000, 40,000 below list price because the market's bad.
It's
but
not like
that's
that across
not
the
the
board.
case at all.
Right.
Now, as you go, if you're looking in our market, you know, maybe 450, 500, 600 and up, that might be the case. You can probably you might be able to get a great discount, but now anything below the median, still virtually competitive for the most part. But man, anything you want to touch on regarding the I know you had more data for us?
No.
Okay.
That's about it. You know, and one of the good things, you know, one of the good things about getting multiple opinions on it is that you get to see different perspectives, you know, from different lenders, different realtors, which is kind of why we do this whole thing and bring in, you know, Isaac is a realtor as well with a brokerage that's different from Rich. However, they're seeing some of the similar things. So, you know, one person you hear something from, maybe do you trust them? Do you not? But if 2, 3, 4 people are all saying the same thing,
kind of gives you
it might be the way of the market, you know. So
Definitely.
so it's definitely good to reach out to more people and kind of get that perspective built into your mind and understand what market we're in.
As far as those rates go, what do you guys see it capping at? I mean, you guys see it pivoting at any point in time? Or I mean, I know everybody's banking on what's that date here in May to come.
Pivoting
10th.
for the Fed rate?
Yeah,
not at all.
Right on.
Well, Jerome Powell just spoke yesterday,
I
right?
kind of overheard the speech and all, so I mean, I know he plans on not stopping anytime soon. So
no, he's going in hard on this inflation we got going on. So he is not. They're saying that he's going for a Fed rate. Right? Well, yeah, maybe, yeah. No, 50 basis point is on the table for sure. As a more, yeah, there's like 70% chance now. But what I was going to say, as a terminal rate, he's going over 5% for the Fed terminal rate, meaning more or less the Fed funds rate. Once we get to about 5% or 5.25% at the Fed funds rate, that's when it looks like he may hold off for a little bit to battle this inflation. Right now, it looks like that might be the point to where once he stops there, we might be able to stop and it'll slow down inflation and we can kind of hold there for a while. And then hopefully, you know, if we go to a deep recession, that's a game changer too, potentially, right? If we get into a recession, maybe end of the year, because historically recessions, mortgage rates come down historically.
At the end of it all.
Right. So it's just a matter of
the goal is to stimulate the economy if it's recessed so that you get the money flowing in the economy again.
Sure.
And that's not going to happen if you have to borrow $300,000 for a mortgage at 8 or 9%.
Right.
You know, so people are not going to want to spend their money. You know, they're not going to want to pay that cost to borrow that amount of money. They're going to wait until it comes down, you know. Right. So
and there's I feel mortgage rates will come. So the funds rate, no, it's not coming down.
Gotcha.
But mortgage rates, I feel they will. They're going to be, I think for the year, they're going to fluctuate between like 6 and 6.5. Once we get, I think it's just resetting and adjusting right now. I believe the 10-year treasury is at 4.
Just under, yeah.
Just under 4?
Hovering around 3.93, something like that.
So historically, the yield between the 10-year treasury and the mortgage rates are typically, I think, 1.7%. Now it's about a 3% gap. Right. Funds rate. I mean, treasuries at 4, mortgage rate 7. So there is, to me, it seems like there is room to come down to close that gap more. And I think that's what's happening. And we'll see mortgage rates start trickling down at some point when I think after the next
third, fourth quarter.
I think maybe after the next CPI report. we might see a little bit tick down.
Was
You
it
know,
next
if
Tuesday?
it comes in good,
Next
if we come
Tuesday?
in low, if it comes in good next Tuesday, I can see mortgage rates coming down a little bit. Just my opinion.
Yeah.
But
And
Yeah,
you think
as
just
far as
for
the
what,
cap,
a
though-
couple weeks span though, you know, because then they'll end up jumping back on board, and you know, just like we saw it in the last maybe 5-6 weeks.
yeah,
Obviously, they came back down
They
a little
did.
bit.
They
And
did.
they sure enough they took a turn right back up again.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. I know me personally, even with buyers, I mean, you know, you try to educate them, try to tell them to talk with the lender, get educated, get informed with everything going on so that they're prepared to make that move.
yeah,
I know some of them, you know, they just want to wait until that interest rate is exactly where they want it to, but you can't time it like that.
can't time it.
I know I was talking to you guys about those clients that I have in contract right now. I mean, shoot, they were ready to go at that point in time when rates dropped back down to like 5.2.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know what? They're just some of the clients that, you know, regardless of what the economy was doing, whatever the rates were doing, they're ready to carry this out, you know, financially and,
Mhm.
you know, just whenever they were ready on their terms.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's certain people like that, you know, so.
Or they're in a position where they can.
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly. And I
right.
think those are the people who should be more so
Absolutely.
looking into those options right now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Kind of like I said in the beginning, man, that the winners of those years where the rates were low, they were already homeowners.
Right.
So at some point they owned a home and their interest rate was 5 or 6. That's
Mhm.
why they refinanced down to a 5 because it was still a benefit for them.
Right.
You know, so they had already owned the home. So at some point they owned a home probably cheaper than, you know, what their home's
Yeah,
going
of
for
course.
now.
What they're going for now.
But the interest rates were still up there.
Sure.
You know, they were up there. That's the whole reason why a 5% sounded like a good idea to them.
Yeah.
You know, so it would be the same for anybody buying right now, getting a
Mhm.
7.25, 7.5.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, you know, if you, as long as you can afford it, like Isaac was saying, you're going to be the winner of 2026
Sure.
or 2025.
Sure.
You know, they're going to report on, oh man, these guys in 2025, they killed it when they refinanced back into the 4s, and they were, even though they bought in at 8 or whatever,
Yeah.
that you can't get there until you start,
You start
step
here.
1.
That's
You know,
very
step
true.
1.
So start with step 1, guys. At least start getting the research, start educating yourself, start talking to real estate professions just to get that going, to understand it.
Yeah.
And again, it could be a great time for you, for your situation or not, but
Right.
without getting the facts in front of you, you'll never know. You
Yeah.
just hear what your coworkers and family say. And we all know they're usually wrong anyway. Just being honest, they really, because they're not in the business unless
Well,
they're in the
it's
business.
just, you know,
opinion-based.
a lot of those people, I mean, they probably are knowledgeable about the process and everything else, but they just made the purchase at a different point in time.
Sure.
Those times just do not apply to today's.
Right. And they're not in the business every day, though.
Exactly,
You know, what I mean?
exactly.
They
So-
don't study it and read
They're
it,
not up
and
to date.
they're not up to date on all the latest things that are happening unless you're in the business. That's who I would suggest anyone getting information from,
course,
someone
as it
that's
should.
actual professional and doing it every day, day in and day out. Because that's, you're gonna get the best information there. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So
let-
you know what?
go
So
ahead.
so going beyond pointing out the market we're in and what we think, you know, our clients should be doing. Let's also provide a solution. And
Mm.
one of the things I saw Isaac just recently post, and I think it's fantastic, and I kind of wanted to touch on it by what he meant by it. But I saw a new listing come up with you today or yesterday, and you had hashtag house hacking. That was on your listing. You have a home with multiple lots or multiple
Multiple
a
units,
lot with multiple units on it. How is that a solution to this market, and what exactly does hashtag house hacking mean?
Well, right now to mitigate the prices, obviously the mortgage rates are rising, and
Mhm.
so it's a bigger price tag just to even own.
Where's
it on a
this place
month-to-month basis.
located?
It's in Chowchilla.
Okay.
So for all you who have not seen it, 820 Monterey.
There it is.
Go
Check
ahead,
it out,
plug yourself.
Chowchilla. That's it, man. So yeah, you got one parcel and you got 2 units on it. So it makes great use of living in the primary unit while you rent out the back. Make use of the overall mortgage payment.
Right.
Nice.
With that payment.
You figure even for something like that right now, 350 is running in somewhere around what have you been pricing it at?
As far as interest rate,
Yeah. So for somebody wanting a 350 house purchase,
350 if they're putting, and this is one of the beauties, and,
Yeah.
and one of the reasons why I wanted you to touch on it.
and it changes
is-
upon individuals'
Right.
circumstances. I know that.
So if there's 2 units on a home, you would think that maybe there's something different about the financing on this. There is absolutely not. Like if you want to buy this home, live in it, you're still putting the minimum down.
Yeah.
And you're getting full access to using this other one as
Yeah.
well.
Sounds like a good deal.
Right.
What's the address
So-
again?
It's 820 Monterey Avenue, Chowchilla, California. So check it out.
So you're looking at a monthly.
And a pool.
I
and
saw
a
it.
pool.
Wait a minute.
And it's mint condition.
Are the same address or 2 different?
Man,
addresses?
same address.
Same parcel.
So it's the same address as I mentioned, is the same parcel, but for the sake of the delivery of their mail, they got another address on it.
Oh, wow. Good.
So, I mean, you look it up, county record is going to show you just that one lot, 2 units.
Sounds like a good deal.
But I mean, you know, for the sake of the delivery, you know, USPS, whatever you're doing, they will deliver to
A and B or 1 and 2,
nice.
Exactly.
whatever
That's
it is.
nice.
So the reason I asked you to bring that up, and that was perfect. I saw it today. I knew you were coming on the show. I saw it today. I was like, we got to hit this because not a lot of people know this. Not a lot of people know that you can buy up to 4 units, live in 1, rent out the other 3 or 2, or in this case, rent out the other 1, and you can still buy it as a primary home. 3.5% down FHA, 5% down. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Conventional is more than that. It's actually 15% on a multi-unit, but FHA 3.5% down. You get in there and you rent this other unit out. Okay, in your listing specifically, let's say the family needs the big house or whatever the bigger one is. The smaller one, what's that renting for?
So right now, just because she's been a great tenant, they got it in there right now for like $550. It's not up to market rent.
Sure.
I mean,
how many bedrooms is that?
So that's just a 1-bedroom, 1-bath.
Okay.
But I mean, it's all nicely laid out. So you got your kitchen, got your living room.
It's extra income.
Exactly.
That could help pay the mortgage.
So you're probably talking maybe 900 when it's all up to par.
Nice. That could be
that's wild. See,
house hacking.
You look at that. You look at $900 coming. Do you think you care as much about the interest rate anymore?
No.
You got almost $1,000 coming in from another unit,
right?
Whatever your mortgage payment was, were you looking at it going, I got to make that on my own? You no longer do. You no longer have to.
This is a great question for you. So say they buy this, family buys this for FHA, right? They stay in the house. How long does that family need to stay in that main house before they can move, buy another house, and have both properties as rentals?
Beautiful. That's a great question. 1 year, man. Your loan, FHA or conventional, is going to require you to be have occupancy in that property.
Just 1 year.
1 year.
Wow. So after that year, guys, you can literally move your family to a whole nother place, and now you can rent both properties out, and that could pay for your new home or help pay for it. That's just a genius. That's the true way to start generating wealth and building your rental.
Right. And they call it house hacking because you have a home and you're pretty much alleviating some of that mortgage payment or covering it completely.
In some cases, most definitely.
And hacking it.
Those numbers are starting to get a little harder to find right now. But
with the price,
so the average consumer, average first-time home buyer that's coming in, it's a great perfect property to kind of dig into. You know what I mean? You figure you're gonna.
I'm interested in myself, actually. I'm gonna look at.
I saw it.
I'm telling you, obviously they're gonna have to bite the bullet right now with that higher interest rate.
Sure.
And they're still gonna have that payment, alleviated regardless with that back unit. But you figure when they're able to refinance, they might be cash flowing at that point.
Absolutely.
Hey, and what did the government just do? They just decreased, or Biden, they just decreased the mortgage insurance. So
on an FHA loan.
So there you go. So it's gonna be a little cheaper than it normally would. Hey,
it's gonna be cheaper. So
might not be a bad deal, guys.
No, so that's something to look into. I mean, maybe not a lot of people want to live next to their tenants. You don't have to live there and even state that you're the owner.
Just because we're talking about that property, I know right now, Chowchilla's they got a whole lot of USDA loans going on there.
Correct.
I'm not sure if the 2 units would prevent it from going USDA.
You can still do it. You can still do it.
Okay.
As long as you're eligible, it's in an eligible area, and your income doesn't exceed the USDA limits.
There you go.
They do have a little bit higher credit score requirement, but and another thing about USDA always tends to be eligible in areas where there are prisons. So if there's prisons, there's a lot of correctional officers.
Rule of thumb there.
Yeah. So if there's prisons, there's a lot of correctional officers.
Right.
There's a lot of correctional officers. You got whatever unit that's outside of you, a 1 unit, 2 unit.
And you got the prison there in Chowchilla. Boom. So man, it could rent it out to the guards, the corrections, the staff.
Bring the guards in.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, it's
so much.
All of corporate is USDA approved.
Wow. All these entire like Selma, Chowchilla,
a little bit less. Hanford, Lemoore, a little bit here and there. Coarse Gold, Oakhurst. Sanger. That's all. A little bit of Sanger. It's got to be real.
Delray.
More.
I'm literally in my first USDA deal right now with my listing. So
that's right. You did just
this first I've been busy for 5-6 years, and it's the first one I've got done. So it's
0%
so far
down.
It's going great now so far.
Can't beat it.
0% down.
Wow.
The only other loan that offers this is a VA loan, and you have to be a veteran.
Listen up, guys. Buyers out there. Listen, contact your lender, contact Mark, someone about the USDA loan. Find out about it. 0% down. It could be a great opportunity.
Yeah,
100%. Switch gears real quick. Isaac, third year in, man. Talk to us about that. How did that first year look? Because we got a lot of agents, new agents in the business, even older agents that might be having, it's a hard time. It's a hard market now, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
You came in your first year. What year was this? 20?
So this was 2020.
Oh, what month?
Months in 2020. I want to say around May.
Oh my,
It was a
pandemic.
Around May. Obviously, actually, you know what? This had been March then. I'm confusing M with March and May. So it had been March. March, I recall, shoot, my birthday is coming up. So what's it called?
Yeah. Oh, happy early birthday.
Yeah, thanks. I came into the business and
Wait.
sure enough, COVID started hitting.
In March.
Yeah.
So you came in literally, oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, when everything was going on. So, I mean, shit, I came in with, ready to run on, ready to hit the ground running.
What did you do,
got a hard
bro?
stop.
To
I mean, me personally, I was fired up, just from getting your license.
Cool.
Everybody's got their own, reasons to why they join, real estate or the lending side of things. Me personally, I worked for Costco for the past 6 years, working for a corporate, being micromanaged. I personally was tired of it. I couldn't picture myself being there in the long run. I couldn't picture, being told what to do for the rest of my life. So that was my pivoting moment. And so obviously I got my real estate license. So started digging around that point in time there in March. COVID starts happening. I start, even though I'm, ready to hit the ground running, you start getting a little shaken up by the news and what you're hearing. Just like everybody,
that had to scare the heck out of you. You're like, oh shit, I just got my license and now the world's shutting down. What the F?
Obviously, just you see people are buying real estate regardless of whatever market's going on. So you're just motivated to be that person, that's making stuff happen.
So what did you do? How did it look? How did you get your first deal? Like what did you do? Like, because again, you've done some amazing things. You've closed a lot of deals early on. I'm just trying to open up the playbook a little bit to like new agents that are trying to figure it out.
Yeah, right on. I think I kind of leveraged my initial job, to my leverage, so to speak. So I was already working there. I was working with various people. I kid you not, I probably have had maybe 6 clients from Costco.
Oh, wow.
So the fact, I worked there for 6 years. I mean, at that specific warehouse, I probably worked there, 3 years, 3-4 years. But, I had a great relation with everybody there. I mean, we were all in the trenches with one another. You know what I mean? So they knew who I was. And so me getting into that realm of real estate, they were just like, hey, I'm looking to buy. Nice. And so it all kind of just fell into place. So I'm telling you, that first year, I mean, I knocked out 6. So, and like I said, I think it took me maybe 3 months to get my first deal in there.
It's good.
So actually, funny enough, my first 2 deals happened within the first, within 3 days of one another.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And it was because one got delayed. It should have closed maybe like 2 weeks before that.
Got it.
Essentially, when the first one closed, the other one closed right like 2 days after.
Oh, yes, so back-to-back.
So, you guys know that momentum's the biggest, your biggest friend in this field. So as soon as I had that momentum, I was like, oh, regardless of what the market's doing, I mean, we're going in,
that gave you the confidence there.
We're getting the confidence, nevertheless, whenever I first started going, I started cold calling. I was big on people like Ricky Caruth, he's
yes,
the cold calling, and obviously it's one of those nerve-wracking things to do. It's tough, you get some objections, but once you start getting the nerves calm, you get 1 or 3 under your belt. I mean, you start getting in the zone.
Frank,
You know what I mean? Ain't nothing stopping you. You know what I mean?
No.
Not only that, but once you get somebody actually giving you some information back, whether it be a phone number, email, whatever they're going to give you as a source for your database. You feel like you can't be stopped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Next one. You know what I mean?
Next.
And I know we've been focusing on the fact that, you don't plan on selling it here in a week, but it's just planting those seeds and building up that database. So for that time, whenever they're ready to carry it out. But so yeah, that was really the start of my business. I mean, here with like I said, leveraging my corporate job to allow me to start excelling in mine. And like I said, obviously it's a matter of leveraging other things, such it can't just be one avenue. So I started digging into things like social media, start paying for business, not business ads, but just promoting your promoting your pictures, just sold, just whatever, once you start getting a couple of those under your belt, you're starting to develop that credibility. You know what I mean? People know you're real. People know you're helping real people, in their local market. So just things like that. I mean, it really that really established the credibility and helped me get going on my feet. I mean, and like I mentioned, I worked for Costco here that first year, which I feel like, limited me to the amount of time and efforts I was able to put into real estate.
Sure, you're working.
So going into 21, I was like, yo, if I did that, mind you, I mean, I don't like to talk about the figures or any of that, but just the overall autonomy of, the real estate job is like, okay, if I can make this, and I'm responsible for my own output, I'm like, I'll do this all day, even if I make the same amount of money I'm making over there. You know what I mean? So
it's worth it.
Once I knew that, I'm like, I kind of told you guys earlier when we were having that little lunch, but once I knew that, once I grasped that, I'm like, I started having to make that decision. And even though I never planned on taking any full-time job and getting comfortable there at Costco, it was one of those things I was like, okay, maybe I got to start drifting away. So I didn't necessarily make that decision outright, but I started doing things like slacking in my job. Like not slacking in my efforts, but slacking in terms of like my my tardiness and all. Like I started getting more tardy over there. I'm staying up late nights now, focusing on business, getting this website.
You knew what you wanted. You know what you wanted, right?
I was driven. And
so you were sold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bet on yourself, and you just.
And so shoot, it really came down to what I gave that. So again, now my birthday fell on the 2021.
March what?
March 13th. My birthday.
March 13th.
But
anyway, right around the corner.
Literally days before, I want to say it was what, like March 9th.
Uh-huh.
So after all these tardies, everything's accumulating up, I'm finally sitting down with the general manager, and she's like, hey, obviously I'm aware. She was aware that I was starting to go, half and half with that in real estate, and nevertheless, she wished me good luck and everything, and encouraged me about it. But it was just one of those things. She was like, hey, what are you trying to do? Because are you struggling to keep that balance between your job here, which you're there here by contract, and over there where I'm having to fight for my business on a daily basis, and I'm on my terms there.
She's trying to sell you back on the job.
No, 100%. In a way, kind of. Not only that, but kind of giving me like a second chance.
Okay.
Like a second chance. And so I kid you not. I mean, man, my heart.
What was her name?
Kelly.
Hey, what's up, Kelly?
Kelly Salcedo. Have you seen this?
What's up?
No, she's a great person.
No, shout out to you. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, most definitely. She was an encouraging individual herself, and I know she just moved out of this warehouse. I know I got some of the old friends there that were promoting her last day, but yeah, like I said, we had this real life conversation. Sometimes I guess you try to map it out in your head to see how it's going to pan out until it's actually in front of you. I mean, I kid you not, she was just in front of me like we are right now, and it was like, dude, I was like, give me the paperwork.
Like, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to go.
Wow.
I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
And I'm telling you, it was days before. But mind you, I didn't just do that. Starting the year 2021, things were rocking and rolling. I already had 5 in escrow. Whenever.
So wait, back up. So your last day on the job at Costco, like, did you give them a 2-week notice? Did you just leave? How did that look? And then, at least for me, I know once I left my full-time job and I was like, okay, that day I woke up, I was like, shoot, I don't have a job. This is it. There's no turning back. Like, how did that feel?
Check it out. I got more so terminated.
Yep. It can do that. Definitely.
Yeah. And I kid you not, if anything,
back is against the wall.
Hey, if anything, it fired me more up. I'm like, I'd rather leave this place with the word I got fired from here than to, say, hey, I gave my 2-week notice, boom, 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 whatever, But me personally, I mean, I kind of told you guys, my father, him personally, his best thing that ever happened to him was getting fired from his last job, and then he became a success. Obviously, not just overnight success, but I'm just saying that was the best thing that happened.
And for those who are not knowing, Isaac's dad actually was in the business, had a great career in real estate for many years, and then eventually he got into the business, but it wasn't as easy as you may think it is, because I don't know if you want to touch on that just a little bit. That experience growing up with. That didn't really push you or motivate you? Did he help you at all, like in the beginning, to get leads or anything?
He kind of obviously had set down the foundation. I'm first generation. I graduated Fresno State alum. He wasn't so much behind me going the new so-called norm. I think everybody kind of feels obligated to go to college nowadays.
Yep.
When in fact it's not necessary.
Correct.
I know people who go into trade school and all making 6 figures right off the back, and then some, depending on how you utilize those funds. But so yeah, he wasn't so fond of that. And me, I mean, I went against the grain. I was like, hey, even if I'm with Costco at this point in time, even if I end up going his route within real estate, and even if it's a success, I'm like, I want to have something to fall back on. Now that I'm in the industry, it's one of those things that, like, you don't make for a plan B. This is my plan A, this is my plan B, this is my plan C. You know what I mean?
Love it.
It's one of those things. And
like Lorenzo said, what's a plan B when you're everything you plan to be?
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
I love it. I love it. But that's pretty much what had happened there. And so like I said, I chose that route, went to college, graduated after 4 years, and I already had set the books out to the side for those 4 years. I had to take the dust off of them. Decided to get my license. Like I said, I got tired of being micromanaged, and I just thought it was about that time to see what I can do and achieve on my own.
Awesome.
To be honest, though, even though I thought I knew what you were what I was getting into, it's not what it seems. A lot of people, you get a lot of new agents that come into the industry when the times are hot, and they think things are going to be gravy. Their phone's going to be ringing off the hook, and man, shit don't happen unless you start making people's phones ring. You know what I mean? And
that's right.
It's the hard reality, and unfortunately, even in times like today, we have people that either weren't utilizing their funds or their reserves correctly, or it wasn't for them. They realize it's kind of a industry that's sure enough hard to crack. You really got to get out there and make something of yourself. Make yourself known.
Very true.
And
Very true.
but like I said, I ended up getting into it now. So he's my mentor. He's my mentor. I can go to him for anything. He's always been very helpful in that aspect. But
well, we know that first year, especially, even second. I mean, it's hard in general. I know there's a lot of ups and downs in this business first year. There's times where things may not, may slow down. You're unsure. You need money. What were some of the hard times especially your first year or two, to where things may have slowed up, may have not been exactly what you want. It was things that you had to overcome. And how did you overcome that to keep pushing? And what kept you like going forward? Because, especially when you're new, it's like you start off, you might do a couple deals, and then you can easily go 3, 4, 5 months without anything.
Without a single deal.
You know what I mean? And then during that time, a lot of times we could question ourselves. We can say that maybe this is not for us. All kinds of stuff can play with our mind. What did you do in those times to keep yourself motivated, inspired, to keep pushing forward?
I don't know. I'd like to say that, one, I've always been pretty self-motivated myself, but even then, obviously, once you get into the actual field, you'll come across obstacles and things come in the way. Life happens. I mean, even throughout that time, I met my fiance and everything. We're actually looking to get married here in June.
Congratulations.
So, Congratulations. I appreciate that. But I'm just saying, like, in those early on stages, I mean, she was there for my support, but, trying to establish a successful relationship there and trying to establish business, my relations there.
Hard.
It could be difficult. Why don't you give me all this time and whatever, She was always very, supportive in that aspect as far as that goes. But any obstacles there? I mean, shoot, you talk about anything like what we're doing right now, podcasts.
Yeah.
Podcasts, reading. I started getting into reading. Reading was never a big part of my life.
Yeah,
but
when business will pull it out.
Exactly. It'll get it out.
It'll pull everything out of you.
I started digging into the things that I liked. Whenever you're in school and stuff like that, they're just feeding you crap.
Yeah,
kind of memorization, things that you don't really even want to pay attention to.
100%.
But this is something that I have a lot of passion for, and I really didn't hesitate on digging into that. And it's not only that, but I got that little competitive spirit myself. So, once you kind of get the framework and everything down, you got your friends and everything your new friends that might be in the industry and everything. You're trying to, pick their brains and see what kind of systems and all they got in place. And you're like, you feel like you're now in a position, and it's not a competition, never competition. There's an abundance, there's an abundance whenever it comes to this. So don't want anybody to ever get that, mixed up there. Yeah. But, you still get that competitive nature to where you're like, okay, like it's more so competitive nature within your own self.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, like if this individual's doing it, what's stopping me from doing it?
Right.
And I'm saying for me from doing it because I'm a rookie at that point in time. I'm just coming into the industry, and shoot, I got goals I wish to, I aspire to achieve. So awesome. But I don't know. I'm big about just trying to keep myself motivated.
Do you have like a why? They always talk about why. You have a reason, like me, family, I have kids, I want to build wealth for the generation, my family. I want to be able to, at one point to be in Hawaii for a month or 2 at a time. I want to be anywhere I want at a time, still do business going. I mean, I'm just looking at that vision as far as where you want to see your life. Is that something that keeps you going? Do you have a vision of
it was one thing
what
about,
you want your life to look like?
Yeah, most definitely. It was one thing about wanting to see it for myself and what I pictured my life to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was one thing with leaving me leaving a corporate job because I knew this wasn't the life for me. So that's number one. But number two, beyond it all, it's family. I mean, here in the last 5 years, I did lose my mom. So I lost my mom. After that, between not saying all the things that you wish you would have said and not, I kind of carried it on to this business aspect to, just go after whatever you got in your mind. I mean, we're not promised tomorrow. And, I got the little ones. She left 3 of us behind and then my dad. So 4 of us. But, the little siblings, I mean, one of them's 9 right now. She just turned 9 or 10. Don't hate me for that. But anyway, and then my little brother just turned 15. So,
Wow.
you know, there's a little age gap there. You know, I was the only child for 11 years. So the dynamic is all different now. So even then, sometimes when I feel like I'm not even paying attention all to them or giving them all my attention, it's, you know, I'm over here in the beginning stages of my life, still trying to establish who I am.
You're still
you
a
know
kid
what I mean?
in a sense. You're
So
still young,
exactly. But, you know, so I find myself trying to carry out a lot of things, one for her, you know, for her memory, two, making my dad proud as a father, and three, kind of setting the tone for the kiddos, you know, giving them a good role model to look up to.
Right.
But then four, beyond it all, I mean, you know, for myself.
Sure.
For myself.
Right.
I mean, I have these ambitions and goals.
That's
I
good,
want for
man.
myself. So.
Yeah, you can't forget that, because
you can't because you can do it for everybody else, but
yeah,
the most important thing is to do it for yourself.
That's 100%. When
100%.
burnout and frustration will set in if you completely forget about yourself. Yeah, that burnout and that frustration will set in.
And now, I mean, I don't want to disregard it because the lady might see this, but now my fiance. So
right,
now, you know, it's
it's
one of those things. You know, we got our plans now as we're getting together, and you know, I'm over here working it up so that we can, you know, strive for those.
You got to double down more than ever. You got a big wedding to plan for, man. It's about to get very expensive for you, man. Or if not already, you know, with that wedding. Exactly. But congrats on that, man. That's awesome.
No, that's great.
Go on for
that's great, man.
Yeah. Let me just real quick, one last thing on just the business. What are you doing today that's working for you? Just keeping business flowing. Like, what is a couple things that just
so I mean, obviously you guys know there's no secret to the business. I mean, it's creating multiple avenues that are going to give you these, you know, leads. All we have is leads to go off of, and it's up for us to, you know, take those leads and convert them to actual relations, which then become clients, and you know, they become in our database and CRMs,
lifelong clients.
Exactly. Yeah. I know a lot of people got different ways about going about their business, but you know, I've always prided myself in that. Like I said early on, I got on with Ricky Cruz, and he's one of those who will preach, you know, the relations and you know, relations over the money, over the figures. You know what I mean? Because these relations are, you know, they're just lifelong. Exactly.
Yeah. So is that kind of how you building your business, like kind of that same model?
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's great.
I'd say so. And then obviously, like I said, sometimes we, you know, early on when we're trying to establish ourselves in the business, we try thinking, you know, who's going to be our next client, but we sometimes overlook the closest sphere we got, which is family, friends, and, you know, people who've known us growing up. And you know what, if anything, I'll be guilty as charged that I overlooked them at the beginning. And it's something that I'm trying to emphasize on.
You know, your situation's a little unique. I heard this from another agent whose mom was in the business before they got in, and they said it was harder for them. And it's because
they're like inner shadow or something.
Well, here's the thing. It's probably for you too. If you come in as a child under a parent that's in the business and you're trying to work your sphere, 9 times out of 10, your mom or dad, they got all your family members. So now you're like, man, you couldn't even work your own family because your parents already got it, you know? So now you have to go outside of that to try to find new business. So I think, I don't know if that's the same with you.
But even though I think it helps out a little bit, my dad's up in the Northern Valley. So Atwater area.
Okay.
I stayed here after college, Fresno, Clovis area. So, but even then, I mean, in the last 2-3 years, I've been finding all my business being anywhere from, you know, Turlock all the way down to like Porterville. So, you know, I've given myself some wiggle room there to work with. And, you know, he's only focusing on that Atwater area now, you know, and, you know, we don't step on any toes. I mean, I've been fortunate to deal with maybe, I want to say probably like 2 family members over the course of, you know, the last couple of years. And, I mean, shoot, his database is his database, and you know, we don't. I don't know. It's a father-son relation there, you know. I'm gonna have to go.
There you go.
With him,
that's
you know?
right.
That's awesome.
Battle for that, but no. I think we got this perfect balance between it all. I mean, anytime we're around family, they ask us questions, either him or me, and you know, they know that they can count on us to give them that valuable information. So, you know, there's really no going wrong with who they choose. They choose him. No hard feelings. They choose me, great, but you know, no hard feelings again for him either. So,
gotcha. Sounds good.
That's dope. That's good to know, because man, when I left my government job and I came into this, I was like, man, I don't know what it's going to be like, but oh well, I'm rolling the dice. I'm going. And now I'm like, man, I would love for my kids to join the industry. I would love for them to, you know, forego, you know, years in a university and costs of a university. Not that I would, you know, shift them away from it on purpose, but I mean, if they did, I mean, because they know that, daddy, my kids are little, you know, 5 and 3. They're like, oh, daddy helps people buy homes. he helps them buy their houses. Like
Yeah.
they know,
Yeah.
you know, but if they get older and they start to see it and they start to come to some of the wholesale meetings or my flips or anything like that, you know, they're gonna see it, and I would love for them to come in. But at the same time, I never thought about that, or what you had asked, like, well, where do I go then? Everybody knows my dad. What am I supposed to do now? And I never thought about that. So that's good. Good for you.
Got outside of your sphere. Yeah. Or better yet, you know, a lot of times family members have, like, say your dad did a deal with your uncle or cousin. Well, what about their kids? Your cousins, you know,
that's
like your peer group.
That's my era.
Yeah. So once they become of age, then
Like,
that's where you come into
back off.
Yeah. Back off the youngsters. I got that.
Go talk to uncle. I got this over here.
Everybody under 30 or 25, you got them covered.
That's funny.
That's awesome, man. Well, good stuff, man. But yeah, it's just amazing. I love to see, main reason I want, especially have Isaac on and others coming, you know, newer agent in the business, third year in, and just a great story, a go-getter. I seen him out there. He just nonstop with it, does great business, and always looking to build, you know. But so I like that.
I mean, I look at both of you guys and just thinking back to how I met both of you. I mean, it's been through relations in the business.
That's right.
I mean,
it's a deal.
Yeah, we just closed the deal here. Getting into the holidays?
Yeah, was
closing out December.
The end of last year?
Yeah,
last
year.
So we did a great deal. Great smooth escrow.
Lender Ruben Villegas had nothing but good things. I actually got on the phone with him yesterday. So
Ruben.
a little bit.
Shout out to Ruben, man.
No, most definitely good guy there, and you know, we've been able to knock out a couple there. But you know, he was already talking you up from the jump, and
he talked you up too. When
I kind of already had been seeing you in play, you know, for some time, and I'm like, you know, I like being around like-minded people, so I'm like, yo, I got to pick my guy's brain and see what he's got to bring to the table, how I can bring value to him, and you know, because even though we're agents and we're doing the same thing, I mean, it's important that we, like I said, because there's no secret to it, to see what's working for one another, and we implement it into our own business and see what we can make of it. You know,
it's about abundance. You know, just that mindset of abundance. Like, you know, there's enough business for everybody. You know what I mean? And there's no hidden secrets. I don't believe in that. Just like if you can help someone off with something, that's all you can ask for. And if something comes back later on, cool, so be it. But that's not really the intent. You just think life is really about just helping and giving as much as we can, without really looking for anything in return. And naturally, the way the world works, it will reward you. Yeah, it's not going to look probably like you think it's going to look, but at the end of the day, it's all beautiful. It's a blessing, and that's what God's will. So hey, that's what I'm about.
That's it. I hope that's something that the viewers of the show see, is that there is a pattern of people coming on here, not only just you and I, even when we just have no guest, but the people that come on here, the importance of mindset. I mean, everybody that comes on here displays it. They speak. You can hear it in their speech. You can tell by the actions that they're doing, the tips and tricks that they give us. You can tell that it starts with that mindset of there is enough for everybody, so don't be a jackass. The mindset of I need to go and get it myself, not sit and wait. I don't think you'll ever see anybody come on the show and be like, well, I tried to do this and then I just quit, and then I did this one and then I quit. Yeah, I don't think anybody like that will ever be on the show, and I hope you guys
I think it's key in on that. That mindset is crucial to not only this industry but entrepreneurial type activity.
Right. I mean, this show applies business across the board. Entrepreneur can take a lot of these tips and things that are being said by guests, by Mark, by myself, and apply it to any business and be successful. So
I mean, Eric from Herbalife, he was the same thing when he was speaking about how he got into it, and he never turned back. Yeah. He never turned back.
Go back and watch those other episodes, guys. There's some gems and all.
It's all sales. You know, it's all same concept. I mean, just a different crowd. You know, different activity you got going.
Goes back to kind of what you said. You know, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals, bouncing ideas off each other, continuing to grow, having a growth mindset. I mean, that's never going to hurt you, whether in the same field or not. You know, it's never going to hurt you to have people like that around you, right? Which is the whole point of this show, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Bring everybody
bring
around.
You heat, bring you value.
Yeah,
You know what, Isaac? You are an official heat speaker now, honorable heat speaker. We got to start giving people that title, and we got to start giving people, and really designating them as an official heat speaker and their family. They come anytime, you know. And me and Mark has been talking on every episode. I think that we're going to eventually plan a big event. And then everyone that comes on the show is definitely going to be involved in some capacity if they want. So we just got to figure all that out. But we'll definitely.
Sure you guys will get a couple good crowd there.
Yeah. We got some plans, man. Anything else we want to touch on, man? Man, it's a lot. We got. Actually, I just went live, guys. Sorry, earlier I was kind of filming. I don't know if anyone caught that, but This kind of went live on Facebook. Just in
Oh, you
case.
did?
Yeah. We're gonna start going.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
You guys got something else you guys want to touch upon?
I do.
Go ahead.
I do. First, did you guys see about that Mexico? Those 4 people got killed, or 2 people got killed.
I saw that.
The
They
4
got
kidnapped.
they got what is it? 2 million, 2.5, I don't know, to bring the guy, like a hit on the guy.
Wait, I don't know if we're talking about it. So the one I'm talking about is 4 people went to Mexico. It was 3 guys and a girl. The girl, I guess, was going for a tummy tuck or something. They ended up in a territory. I forgot the name of the city, but it's a territory in Mexico that's been known as a no-go zone for US because the cartels are there.
Gotcha.
Long story short, she was going to this to get some work done. They ended up, I don't know if they were lost, but they ended up where the cartels were at their checkpoint. They pulled them out of their car, their truck.
2 Americans were killed.
Yeah, 2 Americans eventually got killed out of that, out of the 4.
I read it on a surface level.
Yeah, and then the girl and another guy were found safe. They weren't, they were still alive. But it's just an interesting story, man.
Bounty. I was trying to think of it. They have a bounty on the guy.
On who's this?
On the guy who did it all.
Do they know?
Like I think they got a guy. I think he's
really?
the head guy for the cartel.
Oh, I didn't see. I don't know that
right
part.
Before we joined on this, I was looking at Instagram over here. And
Yeah.
popped up.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's still dangerous to go there, especially on your own, just driving around in Mexico. You got to be careful.
Man, I'm Hispanic. I mean, thankfully, at this point in time now, I think we got everybody over here now. But we used to go visit, travel over there often. Man, we haven't gone in the last, I'll tell you, me personally, I haven't gone over like a decade now.
Wow.
But just because of the fact that it just got dangerous out there. And I know it's one of those things that, you want trouble, you'll find trouble. But, out there, sometimes it's anything goes. I mean, you're at the wrong place over there. And, especially because we come from there. I mean, if you make it known that you're coming from over here, they figure you have some kind of attachment to money or something.
Yeah.
They're about to get you over there. And,
well, that's the thing. So it's kind of like me and my wife, we were just in Mexico in November. Went to Ensenada, then Cabo, but we were walking around the streets of Ensenada. But, after a point, I was getting nervous. I was like, wait a minute, we should probably turn back, just because it sucks. And then there was this guy, he was driving this little buggy, he was riding a bike, and people can get on the buggy, and he'll take you around, the streets of Ensenada tour. But it would have been cool, but I just couldn't do it.
That fear in the back
I had that thought, like, man, what if this guy kind of like kidnap, what if he pulls a gun and kidnaps us, rob, I don't know. It just, and I hate to think that way, when you're on vacation, but at the same time, you got to have a guard up.
The reality of it all, man.
Yeah, and he could have been legit.
We're in their territory now.
Yeah, right. And he could have been very legit, because later on I did see some people riding in a buggy kind of like he had. It wasn't him, it was another person, but I was like, well, it could have went good, but what if it didn't?
I think that's the funny part though too, because I also have some like friends who end up traveling, and they're very pure minded to, they're unaware of all these things going on out that direction, so they'll go into there without those fears in their head, and, just really make the most of their time. Thankfully they make it back to the US in one piece. But I mean, it's us that we actually, the fact that we see these articles or some of these videos, I mean, they're real. Some of them make you think that you're watching a movie or something,
right?
But it's the reality of these other places, countries, third world countries sometimes. I know a whole lot of crap going out there in India sometimes too. I'm not sure if you guys follow USA crime, but
what's in India, bro? Fill us in. No, what's going on?
USA crime. So they'll cover places like India, Mexico, Brazil. Brazil's huge on crime. So you follow this USA crime place, which I don't advise you guys to, but anyway. I follow it, I look at it, and it really just gives me a sense of reality and what things are like over there. When we think things are tough here, man, we don't know the half of it.
Yeah, very true. There's a lot of those countries that are really bad, so we are blessed. We're not perfect by no means here, but it's a lot better being a lot of other countries. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, I probably shouldn't look at those then, because I get,
especially if
I was
scared. You get
exactly.
Oh,
so that's the thing. So I already have like this skeptical, like cynical default setting whenever I'm meeting somebody in like a foreign area, somewhere I've never been, going down and even just out of town here in California, don't even have to be out of the state.
Yeah.
And I just always just got my eyes squinted, like, what's this guy up to?
Yeah.
Probably just selling balloons, but I don't know. Like I just have this, and then
that's the correctional officer.
I think that's the correctional officer in me. And then I had kids. No,
now your guard
it's
wins.
just
Right.
100x, dude. So I actually just posted about this too, about how, they just make me the most paranoid person in the world, just being a parent. And
Being
it just,
a parent
it
is
sucks.
different. It hits
sucks,
different.
But at the same time, I'll be safe. Yeah, maybe I won't experience as much with this mindset, but shit, my kids are gonna make it. It's
what?
crazy, man. The world is
Kids
crazy.
You'll experience this, and I'm sure you guys are gonna have kids.
Man, give me 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. But the worry level though goes way up when you're a parent. I mean, at least just every step. You're always worried. At least I am. They're at school.
Always.
You're just thinking because all the crazy. It's just the world's so crazy nowadays, right? We never had to think about someone going into a school or in general, we never really had to worry about people just killing people in masses just for no reason. Just
Churches,
random, right?
malls,
so
schools, everything.
It's not safe like it used to be. So everything is kind of a worry.
This is probably outdated now, but it was like a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. They had said that there had already been 70 mass shootings.
School shootings, right? Or just
mass shooting.
Okay.
But I think the definition of mass
exactly.
it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think so.
But that's still a lot.
It's
a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
I don't even know that it's
70 since January 1st.
70 this year to date, bro.
Crazy.
We're barely in the third month. That's crazy.
I forget the exact number, but I looked up some of those statistics too here in the last couple of years. And
so that's more than one a day. That's one a day.
It was some
more than one a day.
This was a couple weeks ago. So,
oh my gosh,
like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
That's year just started, man.
Year just started. Yeah.
So more than one a day.
Oh yeah, I still hit the range often, bro. I'm
prepared, huh?
Gotta be. You gotta be protected.
Turn into that grumpy old man. You better get off my lawn. Get off my lawn.
Get what you're doing over there.
Walk around. Walk around. Get too close to the damn house.
Right?
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway.
Before we always like to towards the end ask the guest this.
What is it?
Yes.
Top 3 hip hop artists, dead or alive.
I told you I grew up listening to gangster rap. So.
And there's no right or wrong answer, bro. I mean, it's your opinion. So your top 3.
Pop, Pac, Biggie.
Damn.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I grew up specifically on gangster rap. I mean,
that's
was around. So
okay, Pac, Biggie. Who's your third?
We'll throw it in.
Pac was in the both of ours, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're talking just rap specifically, right?
Yeah.
So we'll end it with maybe. Let's see. Andre Nicotina.
Hey, that's a good
Fillmore. Okay,
because I'm telling you, Barry influenced.
That's nice. I like that.
I'm not mad. Hey. And this is kind of interesting because you're like, you're not even a millennial. You're like what, Gen Z?
I'm considered Gen Z. I think by like I don't know how many years. What's the cutoff?
Okay, so that's very young, and to have Pac and Biggie in your top all 3.
Andre Nicky, yeah,
that's crazy. That's awesome, but it's just different. Like the average 25-year-old wouldn't even know who Andre Nicky is. Probably have never heard, maybe heard of 1 or 2 Biggie songs, if that. And Pac, they probably heard a couple, if that, but that wouldn't be in their top. But that's awesome that that you're still.
I just feel like back in the day, I mean, they had like you talk about any like beef or anything. I mean. It wasn't Twitter fingers around that time, I mean, they took it to the actual streets. Like
very true.
They'd make. I mean, obviously,
not to say that's a good thing, but we do not condone violence on our show. They were
passionate. They showed it. Yeah. Somebody going down for this,
right? They were real about what they said. Basically.
Yeah.
So, but that's great list, man. I can't complain, man.
I'm curious now. What do you guys got?
My mind changes every week.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, just you telling me about your background, a little bit of your journey.
Yeah. Top 3?
Top 3.
This week, Tupac is always in my top. Tupac, it's interesting because it's a new artist. Well, he's not new, but he's new. He's jumped into my top 3 as of today. La Russell, I got to throw him out there. Oh my gosh, like I said, it's been changed over the years. I've had Biggie there, I've had Nas there, I've had Twista there.
Sam said Busta Rhymes. I can't believe I looked over Busta Rhymes for so long, and I was like, you know what?
Well, Busta, the reason he wouldn't be in my top, he's had some good songs, and made probably one of the best performers as a live show. Now, full bodies of work. I just wasn't a big consumer of his music. Like I know Busta back from the late 80s.
Gotcha.
Like Leaders of New School. Come on now. I can go back. Leaders of the New School. Then we busted out and he was with, have you guys heard of them? I know you
Me,
have.
me personally, no. I mean,
Okay. Well, yeah, this is a history lesson, hip hop history too.
history
This
lesson
is
today.
more than heat speakers, hip hop history. Go check out Google leaders of the new school. You're gonna see Busta Rhymes was probably 16, 17. And that's how he started with the group. They had a song Scenario remix with Tribe Called Quest. Busta kills that. So that song, that remix, is when Busta just really, at least for me, showed what he can do on that verse. It's just took it to a different level. Then he eventually went solo, and the rest is history. But that's just
wait, third.
So third, I'm gonna switch it up this week. I'm going. You know what? No, I'm gonna stay Twista.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay with Twista just because he's overlooked a lot. Like if you go back to the maybe early 2000 Twista when he starts putting out music, it just like
celebrity overnight. Huh?
Like well, even before that, I mean, just listen to his body. Like no one. The reason is skill. I look at skill because like. The flow is out of control. Like
and he still has control of it. He still has control,
right?
Making sense of it. Doesn't
it's just yeah. You don't see too many people able to even do that. So that's
him. And then what's his name? Bone. What's his name?
Oh,
he was quick with it too.
There was a
Crazy Bone.
Crazy Bone.
Crazy Lazy.
Bone. Yeah.
Wish. I mean, they all kind of had that fast style.
That flow of
yeah. So but I don't think no one topped Twista the way he did it at the time. You know. So that's just my.
No.
And then he's given his. Has yours changed?
Pac, M, all the way back. Eminem. Infinite album. This is before he was still singing with Dirty Dozen.
So you were up to Eminem before?
Yes. Absolutely.
Wow, you were early.
Yeah, I mean, he came out. His first album came out when I was 9, and he used to sing about.
Well, which album was that?
Guilty Conscience, his first major album. But Infinite.
You were 9.
I was 9 when that came out. But Infinite came out before that in '95.
Yeah, I was like 20 something, bro.
So I didn't listen to Infinite when it came out. Obviously, that was 5.
Right.
But as I started listening to M, I saw the deeper works. Before D12 was even D12. They were all rapping together. But anyways, Pac, M, and the third one's always tough, because the third one's more of like a right now type.
Yeah. Okay. Would you put Simba or Russ?
No, Russ would definitely be up there, or NF. Russ or NF would definitely be up there.
Yeah. I'm sleeping on NF. I don't know if you heard of NF. I need to look up NF. Guys.
I'm sleeping on it as well.
Yeah. Right. He's the only person I've heard about NF. I need to listen to his music. You
gotta listen to
NF.
Got a new album coming out.
Right.
April 7th. So
next time you come across a video or something, just text me the video or a song that you think I should check it out. Yeah.
So one of the most difficult things about NF is that literally every single album connects.
Wow.
So all the way back to 2015.
Where is he from?
He's from Michigan.
Okay.
Like M.
The D?
Still underground or nothing, or
no? He's huge, man. He's
gone mainstream and all.
He's had maybe like 2 or 3 songs on the radio.
Okay. Maybe I've listened to him before.
You probably have heard of his big songs.
What song he had? What was
Let You Down was.
Sing it.
I ain't singing.
Let's go.
We gotta have someone. Who was it? We
gotta have
the Realtor.
Yeah, Steven.
We got to reach out to that guy,
man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steven, man.
Realtor.
You got some kids. You got to come on the show.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I saw him, dude. He went viral.
Yeah, he blew up.
Yeah, he blew up.
Cool.
Yeah, we got to
get him on here.
Sometimes you got to try things out of the norm and see where it lands you. I mean,
right. Steven Diaz, I believe, is his name.
Okay.
Diaz? No, I think. Don't quote me. It could be. Sorry, Steven, if that's not your last name.
But yeah, third one would either be Russ or NF.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Cole was there. It is.
Popped up.
Those things listen to us, dude. Those things listen.
Crazy.
Those things listen to us.
You're making a move now, huh?
Dude, that's weird. Like literally. How'd that light turn off? Something's weird happening.
Turn it off, I think.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. But yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good list.
Yeah.
Like I don't know about NF, but I will check them out.
But Russ, Russ.
Oh, for sure. Russ is a legend. Man, are we go? I guess, man. You want to wrap it up with a motivational?
Yeah.
Oh, before that, you want to let people know how to reach you or whatever, all that good stuff, and then he can end it with the quote. Or
Isaac Hernandez with London Properties. You can reach me at 559-770-9298 if you're a big email person. ihernandez@londonproperties.com.
You on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I try to make myself,
doing TikTok dances.
I'm not that guy.
Not there yet.
Not that guy.
Not there
yet.
What?
It's hard enough to even. I kid you not. So this is my first podcast. So like I said, thank you guys for
doing great, man.
So to be honest,
natural virgin now.
Natural.
Not anymore.
It's pop. but what's it called? Just being a part of something like this, and kind of, I don't know. I feel like it makes it easier for whenever I translate it over to me making a personal video, educational, informational video. I've not necessarily struggled with making those, but you're your own biggest critic. So when I'm making those videos, I'm like, this ain't right. But this right here, we're just being authentic with one another, just speaking whatever comes to the mind, and
and truthfully, when you're shooting videos, it's the same thing. It's just kind of weird.
It is, but you're just there alone. You're in your own mental headspace, and
the best advice I was given for those videos, and I would strongly suggest you guys too, or anyone out there who kind of struggles with posting videos. The key is to not even play it back. Just shoot it, post it.
Hey, you know what's so
forget
funny?
and forget about it. Like literally, like don't even think about it until someone comments or you can reply back. But off to the next.
You know what's so funny that you mentioned that though? I used to do that for my college. Can't even remember what class it was, but anyway, we'd have to record ourselves and give our like a minute and a half report on whatever. Anyway, when I tried doing 10, 12 trials, whatever. So I got to the end, boom. I'm like, I ain't gonna even look at it. I know it didn't come out to the final that I wanted. I just submitted it. I mean, it turns out it gets an okay, an okay grade.
And honestly, all those. I mean, I'm the same way. I struggle with sometimes with that. What you're saying, but honestly, it's always going to be a good video, right? Unless you're
even some kind of education, or
unless you're saying something, unless the video you catch yourself saying something that's not right or inaccurate, then okay, shoot it over. But if it was accurate, everything you said, even though to you you might not have said it the right perfect way you wanted to, let it go, because there really is no perfect way.
I was gonna say, even then it could be a quality video. You got people chiming on in, either correcting you or something.
But there's always going to be that. So just
ain't nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people ain't too fond of getting critics, but I mean,
we're human.
Exactly. We make mistakes, and if anything, it makes for good conversation.
Because when you play it back and watch it back, all you're gonna do is look at every little thing that you don't like about because we see things that other people don't even see. Like, oh man, I had that piece of lint on my shoulder. I can't push it out. Whereas everyone else is like, what are you talking about? And they're not even caring. Yeah, like, what are you talking about?
Well, they're like, well, now we see it, but right?
But we would erase that video just because of that one little thing, because just to satisfy our own psychological. So, anyways, that's
funny. This actually segues perfect into the motivational quote I had.
Hey, let's get it.
All right. So this motivational quote, and I don't know if this is in a book or he heard this somewhere else, but where I heard it was from the Eagles quarterback in a press conference prior to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts said this at a press in the middle of his speech. He was talking about the expectations and everything on him.
I think it was at the end of the game, but yeah.
Oh, was it? Was it the end of the championship game?
I think so.
He says, I had a purpose long before any of you guys had an opinion. And just hearing that right now, we're talking about, this footage and what we don't like and all this, critiquing. If you're true to your purpose and you know what your purpose is and you're driven by it and you listen to nothing other than that piece of lint isn't going to bother you. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to bother you. And I'm not saying I live by this, because I have trouble with shooting too.
Sure.
But when he said that, it really resonated with me.
Right.
Like, you know what? Yeah. It is my purpose to leave a legacy. It's my purpose to be the best father I can, be the best business person I can. These are my purposes. These are my whys. And I had this long before somebody came on and said, well, you're kind of framed all awkward. You didn't even put yourself in the middle of the camera.
Coming from that person that doesn't even shoot. And they don't even shoot.
It don't even matter. I had a purpose long before anybody had an opinion.
I love that.
I love it. He put that, man. My parents are Eagles fans, and sometimes they get a little out of hand with all their singing and Fly Eagles Fly and all that. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm over these guys.
Yeah. But that's
their youngster quarterback said that, and I was like, wow, I like that, man. I dig that. So
great way to end it, man.
Great way to end that. Fit perfect.
Thanks
for coming in, brother.
Definitely.
Good show. Good show.
Tune
in for any future ones here. You can catch this full length on YouTube, but we're obviously going to break this up, and you'll get to see some of these reels on Instagram.
Yes,
hopefully you see them often, because that means we're doing our job.
That's it.
But all right, till next time. Thanks again for coming in, brother.
Peace.
Later.
Speakers.
Good stuff, bro. First podcast.